Hi there, Coach Tanya here. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be sharing with you some things that I did to alleviate. I was under the weather last week and not feeling well. I had chills, headaches, body aches, muscle fatigue, just not feeling well. Although it took over a week to get completely better, each day I felt better. And so I wanted to share with you some tips that I did, some things that I do when I don't feel well. I use these for myself as well as my family. So if you want to know more about that, stay tuned. All right. Thank you for joining me today. So, first of all, I hope that you are feeling better or you are feeling well. But if you're under the weather, this is the perfect time. So be sure to save this video and keep it for when you may need it. Okay? Now, disclaimer, I am not a doctor. I am a wellness coach. I help to coach from a holistic approach. If you need to, I am not telling you not to see your doctor. I am not telling you not to take any synthetic or prescribed medication from your doctor. I'm not saying that at all. I say listen to your doctor. These are just things that I do. Okay? So let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so I went over my symptoms before, and I want to share with you. I'm going to break down the top. For the headache, right? For the sinus pressure, I actually did a massage. Now, with that massage, you can mix any of the oils. You can use an olive oil if you want. You can use avocado oil. You can also use castor oil. So you can, mix a blend. I like to use castor oil because it's thick and you can massage it in, but it also helps to, it's a thicker oil. And I used it with eucalyptus essential oil. I put it in a nice bottle and I use it to massage. The bottle that I had, and you can see that that's castor oil, right? Remember how I showed you how you see how thick it is? Okay, so with the castor oil, you want to rub it in between the fingertips, warm it up. And what I did was I go in here, right? If you feel lumpy, bumpy here, right? This is the corrugator muscle, okay? So I went in here and gently, you don't have to be aggressive, but I went in here with a massage and then I came in here just to alleviate that tension. Feels so nice. And then I come down right here where the sinuses are and a little tapotement. This is a tapotement style of massage. And this helps to open up the sinuses, but because you have the eucalyptus on the fingers, you're also getting that aroma therapeutic vibe going on. Okay, so you're getting some aromatherapy going. You're getting some aromatherapy from it as well as the opening up the sinuses. Okay, so you can do this coming up. You can go here. Just make it your own. So if you say 1 and 2 and 3, then we take 4 around with the circles, come into the tapotement, and then we come up again. So you could do 1, 2, and 3 around in the circles, bring it down into tapotement, and do that, I would say, about 5 to 6 times, okay? Another thing that I do is I make sure that I am coming down here. So the lymphatic system is right underneath the skin. Again, you do not need to be aggressive with it, but you can come here and pull down. I like making like the 7. So coming down here and pulling down, right? So you can take it here and pull down. Again, you can use the castor oil. You can put it with the essential oil. You can also add lavender to it. You see how I'm taking the palm down? What this does is it brings it down. You want to get it toward the heart, so the heart is pumping it out and pushing it out. All right? So that's one of the massages that I did, and it really helped. I also did that with COVID as well because I had a serious headache with COVID. Now, the first time I had COVID. Now, the second time I had COVID, I didn't even know I had COVID. That's how mild the symptoms were. Okay? Now, so that is the massage that I used, and it was very helpful. You can also go in with a massage and you can work with, let's say that you have more of the congestion in the chest. You can come down here, and just from doing this massage, I can tell that although the cold, I'm not feeling bad anymore. Like that last little bit of the cold is still working its way out of my body. So this is a great way here to massage down, right? Remember, you do not need to be aggressive. But then what I also do is I come down here, right? The lymphatic drainage system here, pulling down. Again, you do not need to be aggressive, right? Everything is by the heart. And then I like to come here, just apply a little bit of pressure here. And here you can use castor oil if you want. And I like to go down here because that's going to take us to our next topic. A lot of our immune system is in the colon. And so if you're not flushing, if you're not clean, if you're bound or stopped up, you're not going to really get what you need from that, from your immune system. So using that castor oil here to help to, make everything nice and smooth and flush things out, doing the massage are great tools to use to really help and support the lymphatic drainage system, help support that blood flow, and also can bring comfort back to the body. Okay? And so I recommend making sure that you're getting fiber in. Now I know you may not feel like eating, but try to pick foods that are nutritionally dense and not just ready to eat. I know that it can be hard sometimes, especially if you're not feeling well and you don't have the energy to do that. So some things that I did was I had blueberries or frozen berries, and then I added some chia seed and I added some hemp hearts to it. And I can also add pumpkin seeds too. I've done that before because that gives me plant-based protein, it gives me fiber, it gives me the carbs, it helps me to feel, I get that energy from those whole foods, and I didn't cook anything. I just literally poured it on and just ate it. I didn't care about taste. I just needed to eat something, and done. Now I also made a white bean and chicken soup at the time as well, and I ate on that every day, 2 to 3 times every day. And the reason why I did that again is because it's nutritionally dense. I had white beans in there, kind of lily beans, chicken breast for the protein. I think the lysine too, which is really good for, getting over colds, as well as the broth cooked out from those bones, as well as carrots, onions, garlic, celery, kale, all of those good things I put in that soup and I ate from it. I also made the broth from that. So I didn't use a broth from the grocery store because sometimes those broths that we purchase from the grocery store has a lot of sodium in it as well. Now, that's okay if you're not salt sensitive or if you're not on blood pressure medication, but I found that sometimes those cough syrups we take can elevate blood pressure. And so if you have high blood pressure and you're taking cough syrup and you're having these high sodium foods and soups and things like that, can even elevate it further. So we want to be mindful of those things as well. Okay? And so I made my own broth, but in that broth I also added turmeric to it, which is very good for inflammation. And then I made teas, which takes me to my next point, remaining hydrated. Okay? So when we think, oh, you need to be hydrated, yes, water is very important. But one of the ways that you can be hydrated as well is making sure you're getting soup in there because it has a lot of that juice in there. Making collard greens or any type of those greens and you get that broth from it, that pot liquor, drink it. It's good for you. It has all the medicine from the onions, the garlic, or whatever you're putting in it. Go ahead and drink it as long as you're not putting smoked meat in it. Then I do not recommend drinking the pot liquor. All right? Now, but another thing about being hydrated is we get to drink a lot of teas. So that is one of the ways that I remain hydrated because I made rosemary tea, and I put rosemary, I put lemon in there. Now rosemary is very good for the respiratory system, okay? It's very good for the respiratory system. It's good for the nose opening up here. I also made onion tea, and that did wonders for me. Okay, my mom used to make onion tea for me when I was a little girl, and it always perked me back up, and it truly did. So I made onion tea and I put some lime in it because lime is good for reducing mucus as well. So I did white tea. I call it white tea, but it's white onion with the lime, and I put um, just some raw honey with it, and I drank on that. I made a whole pot, and I drank the whole pot. Okay. Another tea that I made was sage tea, and I'm still having sage tea because, like I said, it's much better, but it's just the remnants of that cold now that I'm finished. My body's finishing up, and so I'm supporting my respiratory system with the sage tea. Now, sage is very good for opening up the respiratory system, opening up those lungs. I had sage tea when I had COVID the second time, and I didn't have an issue with COVID the second time. Like I said, I didn't even know. I was out raking leaves. I had no idea I had it until someone that had it was sick. And then I said, oh, okay, let me take the test. It had already faded. It really did not do what it did the first time. However, I did notice that the recovery, I was a little bit more winded. If you had COVID before, you know you can feel winded after. It didn't take me as long as the first time again, but the sage tea helped to open up those lungs so that I could do the other work to get better. All right. And so sage tea does a lot for the respiratory system, for the lungs. Rosemary does a lot for like the nose and for the throat. Ginger is great for mucus, and cinnamon is great for sore, gravelly feeling throat. Okay, so you're gonna have some cinnamon tea. I put ginger, I put lime, I put cinnamon, I put ginger, I put cinnamon, and I put raw honey. Raw honey, not honey flavored syrup or anything like that. Raw honey. You want to try to get it with the stuff in it. I don't know what it's called. If you know what it is, leave it in the comment. Let's educate all of us, okay? But that's very good stuff to have. You can even take some garlic, kind of punch some holes in it, throw that in the tea as well because it's antimicrobial and antiviral. Okay? So another thing that I do, believe it or not, is I get movement in. And the reason why this is important is because I find when I don't feel well, my muscles get really tight. And when they're really tight, that blood flow is really restricted. It's not really pumping like it could be. And I find that wherever the blood is flowing, that's where the healing is, okay? And so what I like to do is make sure I'm getting that circulation primed so that my body is doing what it does, all right? So I also find that when I'm achy here in my back or the back of my legs, the back of my knees, I like to say by the lymphatic drainage system, I'm trying to support that system by moving, by stretching, by kneading. Okay, kneading those muscles. So I'm going to show you a few of the things that I do, a few of those stretches that I do so that it can support you if and when you need. All right, so I go into opening up the chest here. And what I do is I make sure that my elbows are on the mat. I go ahead and interlock the fingers, and then I'm pulling back on the elbows. This helps me to open up. It also helps that now that I'm on my face, it helps with that flow. Opening up the chest, taking a nice deep breath in, and really just getting that breath, getting those lungs, getting that chest to open up. Very, very good. It feels good. All right, so that's one of the stretches that I do. Another stretch I do, I call this worship pose. So I tuck those toes in, and then I come down and press those palms into the mat. This is another great way to open up that chest, open up those lats, okay? And then I go in with a nice stretch here. So a nice stretch here when we're coming here. So I'm opening up those hamstrings. This is a hamstring stretch. Now, if you're really tight, this may be hard for you. So I'm going to show you another way to do this on the ball, okay? But this is a great way to really open up. And if you're able to do this and you're not feeling well, you may feel that you're tight behind the knees, right? Go ahead and do a little bit of kneading here so that you're getting that blood flow, supporting that blood flow in the muscles, right? And then you come here, same side, coming back, and just opening up. Now I'm going to show you how to do that in a chair, okay? If you find it too hard to get down on the floor, that's okay. You can do this on a ball or in a chair. So let's pretend that this is a chair, all right? I place my palms down on the thigh. I turn the fingertips inward. Now what I'm doing is the heel of my palm is pressed against the outside of the knee, and this helps to open up that back, all right? Just by having your head here too, if you've done that massage with the sinuses, you may start to feel your nose running. It's dripping, everything is pouring, right? So you can come here, and if you're using the ball, you can even shift to the side, because usually in the back, we feel, oh my goodness, my back is so tight, right? From the sickness, the body, the muscles are just tight. So this is a great way to open up those muscles, open up the chest, the back. And here is the one for the hamstrings again, okay? So I like to come here, and you can rub up, rubbing up. Again, you can use that same mixture with the eucalyptus oil, with the castor oil, a little bit of avocado or olive, whichever one you prefer. Now, one of the reasons why I enjoy the castor oil is because it also helps with pain relief. So castor oil, if you have inflammation or achiness, it's great for that. So it makes a great muscle rub and a great ingredient for muscle rubs, okay? So keep one handy, keep a bottle handy for yourself or your loved ones, and it works once. Rest. So I did have some clients, but I had to cancel some appointments, especially in the beginning because I didn't feel well. But I am a woman of faith, and so during that same week, I had some people who weren't feeling well, so they couldn't train, and then I had some people who just could not train. They couldn't work, and so Creator ordered my steps that week, and I'm so grateful for them and for him, because it was just confirmation that I needed to rest. Although I could do it physically, I didn't need to. Now, that does not mean I did not move my body, because I needed to move my body, but I needed to rest as well. So what that looked like for me is I think it was on the Monday, was the only day I did not take Cody Pop for a walk. But Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I got over 10,000 steps in, okay? Because what I was doing, I was walking, I was going up and down the stairs, I was taking my time, I sat for 30, 45 minutes, I rested. What I usually do is I go and go and go until I go. But I took breaks in between, and that really helped to build up my respiratory system again, helped me to get those lungs going again. It helped to really get everything moving out of the body again, and that was most beneficial for me. I find that, I know it sounds wild, but when we're not feeling well and we don't move, I find that it just makes it last longer. So I am not telling you to go run a marathon or train to run a marathon, but I am asking you to consider some light stretching, perhaps some walking out in the sun, getting some good vitamin D going, getting some fresh air going, getting some blood circulation flow. Okay, and then the last thing I did is made sure that I got enough sleep. I knew that I wasn't feeling well because my sleep told me. Although I could do things, there was even a day I worked out. The first day I worked out that week was on a Thursday. So by that time I was feeling much better again, because each day I felt better. I started to feel better, I started to feel stronger. I even felt better 24 hours after not feeling well because of the tea and the soup. The moment I didn't feel well, I started making the soup. And having those teas in. So I felt better. So sleep was one of the ways that I could tell I wasn't feeling well still, because if I woke up tired, I knew my body was still recovering. I'm usually up by 5 or 5:30 in the morning, awake. I'm usually awake by 5 or 5:30 in the morning. And so if I'm sleeping until 6:30 or past 6:30, I know my body is still tired. And so I listen to my body, because our bodies give us signals as to, what we need. And I try to pay attention to that. And so those are my tips for when I don't feel well, that I do for myself and for my family. Thank you to each and every subscriber for coming here week after week and joining me as we elevate wellness. If you have not already subscribed, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. This Monday is another stretching video, because It's after Christmas, but it's right after or right before New Year's. So I know that many of us are being exposed to people who have been sick. I know we may be run down from all the hustle and bustle. I know that we may be traveling, and so I wanted to give you something that's going to help you elevate wellness, and that is a gentle relaxation or stretch. A gentle stretch. It won't even take long. But I also want to let you know that January 2nd, we're going to be starting our 2130 challenge. 21 days of 30 minutes or less activity to help you get into the momentum of achieving your fitness goal. Okay, so that's coming up January 2nd. All right. So I want to thank you again for joining me here today. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. And until next time, live beautiful.